Hey guys, welcome back to Millionairman.com, or if you're checking them out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you guys for being here. Today I want to go over a serious, important topic. I think the best benefit that we have as military members, and that is our thrift savings plan. So let's get right into it. What is our thrift savings plan? Our thrift savings plan is our retirement vehicle. So you may have heard it called a 401k. This is the military or the government's version of that. So your TSP has 5 different funds. It's got the G fund, F fund, C fund, S fund, L fund, or I fund, and for bonus points, it's got the L fund. The L fund is the life cycle fund, and all 5 of these mixed into one, and it kind of adjusts over time. Good thing about your TSP is it allows you to put in $19,000 per year. Now that's a ton of money. A lot of people will never get there, but it is an option that you have. Another great benefit for the TSP is it has Roth and traditional. Please don't let these things kind of go over your head and you're like, oh, it's too much, I don't even want to deal with it. That's why I'm here to give you this information. So your Roth and your traditional, really easy way to think about it. Your Roth, whatever money you see on that screen, that's what you're gonna have. Your traditional, whatever money you see on that screen, you're gonna have to take maybe a fifth or a fourth or a third of that, and remember you have to pay taxes on it. So your Roth is gonna be post-tax money, your traditional is gonna be pre-tax money. If you take 5% of whatever your pay is, it's gonna be the same for your Roth and your traditional. The only difference is on that right side or the middle column in your LES, when it says your taxes, one's gonna be lower or higher depending on which one you use. But remember, whatever number you see for your TSP on tsp.gov, if you're using Roth, that's what you're gonna get. If you're using traditional, remember you have to factor in how much you're gonna have to pay in taxes. We don't know if taxes are gonna be higher in the future or if they'll be lower. So you have to think what's best for you in your situation. So let's go back to the funds. I wrote down, as of today, what these funds have averaged over their lifetime. The C fund has been around since 1988. Your S fund and I fund, those have been around for since 2001. I point those out because those are the most common ones that people use. Your G fund is gonna be your government securities. Over its lifetime, it's averaged about 5%. Your F fund is gonna be the bonds. That's averaged about 6%. C fund are gonna be your large capitalization stocks. So you think about your Googles, your Amazons, your Netflix, your Walmarts, your Apple. Those are gonna be in your C funds. About 503 stocks, I believe, and they follow the S&P 500. Over time, it's averaged, like I said, about 10%. Your S fund is gonna be your small to mid cap funds. So that's averaged about 8%. My favorite company, WWE, happen to be in there. Other companies like, I believe Tesla is in there. Those are gonna be in the S fund. Small to medium. Interesting thing to know. If you are using the C and the S fund, you are invested in the entire United States stock market, which I think is a plus. Your I fund is going to be your international market. So Japan, the UK or England, Great Britain, whatever you want to call it. Australia, those are going to be in there. So you've got BP, you've got Sony, you've got BMW. Like your international companies are in there. And then again, your L fund is just gonna be all of these kind of allocated toward whatever age group you're in. So if you are a little older, it's gonna be probably heavily more on your G and your F fund because they're a little more stable. If you're a lot younger, it's gonna be more in your CS and I. Let's talk about diversity really quick. So people always say diversify, diversify, diversify. That is the #1 rule about investing, right? When they talk about diversification, I see a lot of people kind of trying to pick, I want to put maybe some in the L fund, some in the I fund, some in the C fund, some in the F fund, and the G fund. These funds are already diversified, right? So I'm not saying be all in the C fund or all in the S fund or all in the I fund, but if you do choose that, they are diversified. I think this one has about over 30 countries. This has over 2,300 companies. This one has over 500 companies, right? They're already diversified, so you don't need to try to be in every single one, especially if you're using the L fund. you definitely don't need to, put money in the L fund and some in the I, because you're duplicating the effort. These already have all of these in there. And if you're trying to do, I want some of the 40 and some of the 50, I personally, I think that's kind of a waste. So what I did here, you see in the blue, I took just for instance, right? So say you're 19 years old and you just joined the military, Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, Coast Guard. You're like, yeah, I want to get into TSP because TSP is great. You put $250 per month into your retirement, right? So $250 a month for the next 41 years, because you can't touch this money until you are 59 and a half. That's important to remember. This is not a savings account that you're gonna put money in and take out, put money in and take out. This is for the long term. So quick little caveat, make sure that you are out of debt or have a plan to get out of debt. This is very important because investing does not work if you were considering this your primary means for income, or your primary means to make sure that you are financially independent, free, stable, whatever you want to call it. Because when you are in debt and then you see this number start to go up and you say, oh man, I've got $10,000 in there, you're more inclined to pull it out to do whatever else you need to do. So make sure that you are on a budget, you are out of debt, or you have a plan to do those things. You can talk to people at Airman Family Readiness if you're in the Air Force, the Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, the Fleet and Family. Not too sure what the Army has, but I'm sure they have something. So make sure you're talking to those people to get on a good budget, or always millionairman.com. I got you. So back to my little for instance. So you're 19 years old, you just joined the service, you're ready to get in your TSP, you're gonna do $250 a month. Over the next 41 years, when you're 59 and a half and you're able to take that money out, say you get 5% return, which is what the G Fund does, you're looking at $400,000 that you're gonna have within your TSP. Not a bad amount of money for just $250 per month. Now let's say you get what the average is, about 7 or 8%. Look at the S Fund, does about 8%. You're gonna get $1.06 million, right? So you reach that $1 million mark with just $250 per month. Who can't do $250 per month? Now let's get really fun. Let's say you get 10% per year. $1.7 million. Now that's retirement that I can live with. So you get $1.7 million with a 10% return. Now, past returns does not dictate what's gonna happen in the future. We know that. These numbers are what has happened today. So again, this has been around since 1988. So let's say you started in 1988 and you did that 250. This is the average, so that's what you would have gotten at 10%. Okay, so it's not saying that this is what you're gonna get. We don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but this is just a, I guess, barometer, right? Interesting thing again. So I took I don't know if you can see the green ones, they're a lot smaller, but if you are waiting and you say, nah, I don't want to do that, I'll give it some time. So let's say you wait 10 years for the exact same thing. Let's look at the fun one, the C Fund. Instead of 1.7 million, for just waiting 10 years and do the exact same thing, that $250,000, you're looking at $627,000. Now, $627,000 is not anything to sneeze at. It's a lot of money for sure. But do you want to give away that $500,000? I don't. So, number one thing, make sure you start early. Go as fast as you can, as early as you can, as often as you can. And do as much as you can. Maybe you can't do $250. Maybe you can only do $100. But try to get that bumped up. Maybe you're looking at me and saying, oh, $250, that's nothing. I can do $500, $700. 1,000. Do it. Do it to the point that you feel a little uncomfortable, to where you say, oh, I can live off of X amount and I'm gonna invest X amount. So make sure that you are, doing what's best for you. Again, I talk to my people about this all the time, but I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure you're getting your advice from a professional, right? I have to say this legally. This is just for entertainment purposes. But this is something that we have as military members, an incredible benefit. I've been doing this since I was a young airman. Now I've been in for about 7 years, almost in July. I started this and I was in the G Fund. unfortunately. I didn't have anybody to tell me this stuff, and I kept it in there for about 3 or 4 years until I got a lot smarter, and now I've changed my funds, and I am feeling a lot better about it. I'm not gonna tell you what to invest in, but at this point in my life, I don't use the G and the F fund because I feel like they are, I can accept the risk. I'm 28. Yeah, I'm 28 now. And I can accept that risk. The volatility doesn't bother me. It might bother you, so maybe you want to be in the G and the F fund because that's where your risk tolerance is. My risk tolerance is very, very high. The last couple months, December, November, were pretty bad. I lost a pretty good amount of money. I wrote a blog post about it on Millionairman.com if you want to check it out. But I was fine with that because it wasn't, I know this money is for the long term. I know I'm not touching this money until 59 and a half. I also spoke about it in another blog post. This is going to protect you from yourself because you know you can't dip into it. You know you can't get it whenever you want. So I got out of the G fund and was able to change my money. Good thing, if you're just now starting, it doesn't automatically put you in the G fund anymore. Now, whether you just joined or you just started your TSP, it's going to throw you in the life cycle funds. So that's going to be a mix of all of these, and it's going to be more aggressive when you're younger, less aggressive when you're older. So if you take anything away from this, it should be start today. Whether you are in your early 20s, late 30s, start today because the time is what is most important when it comes to compounding and investing. Just because you're older, don't feel like, oh, I can't do this because I didn't start young. Start now. Start today. This transfers with you. Once you get out of the service, and you go get a private sector job or another government job, you probably keep investing, keep going until you can't go anymore. And this stuff will grow for you, and it'll be the best benefit that you've ever gotten from the United States Air Force. So if you like this, please give it a like, comment, share, subscribe, share. This is very important information, and it can change your entire life. So thanks guys for tuning in. I'll see you all next time.